All right. Excuse me. I'll call the meeting to order. Before we get started, let's introduce everyone on this meeting. I'm Sandy Brock. When I call your name, please confirm you can hear me by verifying that you are present. We'll start with the commissioners. Travis,
I'm here.
Jonathan,
Here as well.
Amara,
I'm here, and it's Amira, by the way.
Amara. I
It's all
actually
right. It's a tough name.
no, it's not you. Trust me, it's not you. It's me. I'm awful at pronouncing names and so forth, and I kick myself.
No worries.
No,
I'm here.
yeah. I will get it right. I swear it. And then, okay, and Leah, Bill is not here yet, so
Nope,
okay, sounds good. Leah,
I'm here.
thank you. This open meeting of the Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely via Zoom pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order, as most recently extended March 29th, 2023. Access information for the public has been provided on the town website. The meeting is being recorded. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. This is done on a phone by pressing *6. As chair, I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. Please note that you will not have screen sharing privileges, but staff can display any visual cues any visuals per your queue. During periods of public comment, participants use the raise hand icon in the Zoom menu bar to indicate they would like to speak. This is done on a phone by pressing *9 and then *6 to unmute when you are called on. Participants who raise their hand will be recognized one at a time and will be promoted to speak. Finally, each vote taken will be conducted by a roll call vote. As a reminder, the Commission is concerned with state and town wetlands and stormwater regulations. Concerns outside this purview need to be addressed by appropriate boards. For example, road conditions must be addressed by the Select Board. Traffic concerns must be addressed by the Planning Board. All right. Seeing that 7:06, any action items that we could take care of ahead of time?
Maybe all of them.
Maybe all of them. Okay, so start with the request for certificate of compliance and release of a bond for DEP number 164890 for 114 Merriam Road.
Sure. We've been talking about this one on and off for a little while. This was 4 house lots, 3 off a common driveway. They had some outstanding questions from us as well as from Jeff at Graves that they had to address. They've been working on those. They now have a clear review letter from Jeff, and they have satisfied everything that was on my list as well. We have updated as-built plans, and I'm recommending issuing the full COC and releasing the bond that we hold on that project.
Sounds good. I don't have any questions on this. Does any of the other Conservation Commission members have any questions? Okay, seeing some nodding heads. We have to go around and do roll call vote. But do I have a motion to accept or to?
I'll move to accept the certificate of compliance and release the bond for Merriam Road.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Travis,
Yes.
Amira?
I'm gonna abstain from voting.
Okay,
I
that's
promise
all right.
next time I'll be ready.
No, that's fine. And just I'll actually have to call your name each time, just so that it's on the record and so forth. So
No
not a
problem.
problem. Jonathan,
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries. Okay. Next up, Leah, 2 Stillwater Lane.
Yep, this is just for a partial release for the one house, number 2 in Stillwater Estates. The work's all done on this lot, and this lot is fully stable. Their lawn has grown in and everything. And we don't have any conditions that are outstanding specifically regarding this lot. So they are looking for a partial because of a sale. So I'm recommending issuing a partial, and we would address the full thing at another time.
All right, sounds good. I'll do a quick, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to express those. Otherwise,
Leah, I did review all the info you posted, so I did my homework, which is why I don't have questions.
that's
Awesome.
okay.
Thank you.
I have one questions on the meeting minutes, but we're not there yet. So, okay. So do I have a motion?
I'll move to issue a partial certificate of compliance for 2 Stillwater Lane.
Or a
Second.
second. Motion a second. Roll call vote. Travis,
Yes.
Amira,
Abstain.
and Jonathan.
Yes.
And I am also a yes. The motion carries. 2 down. Third one. 77 Rear Snow Road.
This one is from the Grafton Water District. This
Okay.
was an older order for the replacement of a well. That is all done. They gave a whole report with photos and everything. They met all the conditions that we had on that permit, and they will probably be before us in the near future for new work at 77 Rear Snow Road. So this is probably in anticipation of that. But I
Gotcha.
recommend issuing the COC. Everything's all set there.
All right. Sounds good. Again, if any of the commissioners have any questions, please speak. Not seeing anything. Do I have a motion?
I move that we issue the COC for 77 Rear Snow Road.
Second.
Certificate of compliance.
Yep. So we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Travis,
Yes.
Amira,
Abstain.
and Jonathan.
Yes.
And I am also a yes. The motion carries. Okay. Last up is meeting minutes from last spring.
Yeah.
So is this a correction or?
So we actually have a little bit of a backlog, because we were so swamped in the summer, with permitting, and then we were also, trying to crank out all our, trail maps. So we put meeting minutes on the back burner for a few months. So we're starting to plug away at that backlog. Jack's working
Okay.
on a couple, Jan's working on a couple. I did this one. So you'll start to see more in the next
Okay.
few meetings.
But we've been doing meeting minutes all along, haven't we? Or have I just?
No.
Oh, okay. I
We-
did not notice that.
We were till maybe, I don't know, June, I think is probably when it dropped off.
Mm.
And we
Okay.
just started making a list and said we'd get back to it. And now we're able to get back to it.
Okay. Now, if I was just, I mean, I didn't have any issues. And again, if any of the commissioners have any issues, please let me know. I read through them. I just was wondering. Yeah, I'm paying attention. Okay. All right. So do I have a motion to approve the April 9th, 2024 meeting minutes?
I'll move to approve the April 29th meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion a second. Roll call vote. Travis,
Yes.
Amira,
Yes.
and Jonathan. Jonathan,
Yeah.
your name's not popping up in front of me. That's why I'm hesitating.
Still
Making
here.
sure you're there. You're still there. Good.
Still
I am-
here.
Yeah, I'm also a yes.
Haven't froze yet.
Okay. I am also a yes. That means the motion carries. All right. That's it for action items. Discussion items?
So it's not a discussion item. It's another action item that I stuck under the we didn't anticipate this at least 48 hours in advance section. We just have one more COC request, and that is another one that we've been looking to clean up for a long time at Summerfield. I think it's Summerfield Estates, but regardless, that is a housing development that in years past the commission decided not to keep issuing partials because we needed the peer review funds to get a review of the as-built plans and the site. And no one was willing to pay it at the time. We had a few homeowners come through who were looking to sell. They never wanted to pay the fee. The HOA wouldn't pay the fee. Fast forward to about a month ago, one homeowner decided they were willing to pay the fee. So we finally got that peer review money and sent all the materials to Graves. Jeff checked out the as-built plans, visited the site, found everything in order. There is a small like maintenance issue that we're going to alert the HOA to, which is that they need to clean some leaf debris out of one of the basins so that it drains properly. But I don't see the need for that to hold up finally closing this so that all the folks that live there can not have that cloud on their title anymore. They've met all our other conditions otherwise, so I'm recommending issuing that certificate of compliance.
Okay. And this is for the whole site?
Yeah,
Okay, that's all right. That makes so then we don't have to worry about any partials moving forward.
correct.
Okay, perfect. Do I have a motion?
Move to issue the certificate of compliance for Summerfield.
Second.
Motion a second, roll call vote. Jonathan, now you moved.
Yes.
Amara,
Abstain.
and then Travis.
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries. Okay. 7:15. Very good timing, Leah.
Awesome.
Okay. Switch sheets here. Okay, 7:15. Pursuant to, hold on 1 second. Just need to make it bigger. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, the Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Grafton Conservation Commission hold a public hearing to act upon a request for determination of applicability for tree clearing and grading at 125 Keith Hill Road. Who's here to speak to that?
I am Salvatore Valente.
Certainly. Just give a quick overview of what you're doing.
Basically, I have a sloping backyard and looking to clear out some trees and flatten out the backyard. So going into 30 feet with 30 feet off of the wetland area that was surveyed. So staying 30 feet clear of there, but tree clearing and regrading that does occur within the 100-foot buffer.
Leah, what's your report out on this one?
He already mentioned that he's staying 30 feet away. That was my main point. Other than that, it's not labeled on this plan, but I believe the dark dashed line is intended to be erosion control. We do have the detail down below. So I would just have a condition on it that erosion control would be installed as shown by that line, and be 30 feet from the wetland. And then, I figured the commission would want to discuss some kind of, permanent demarcation of the, no disturb, which in this case would be set at 30 feet instead of our standard 25. So if you guys wanted to talk through
Yeah.
signage or a barrier or both,
Okay.
those were my points.
Sure. Just for the applicant, I just have one question, which is, so this plan shows that you do have the steeply graded hill on the back of your house, and you're looking to cut the trees. We can see the tree line. How much fill are you putting in here? How much you're leveling?
Yeah, so part of the tree clearing is you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
I'm hoping to just not have to import any fill, and that like I take the fill that's there from the cleared area and move it more towards the front of the backyard, so it kind of creates a balanced site.
Okay, so you're looking, and I'm just asking because there's just no proposed grading on here. So you're looking to take fill from outside the 30-foot offset from the wetlands, basically take the topsoil off, stockpile the topsoil, then take soil up and put it down so that you have a flatter backyard immediately behind it. And then
Right.
then you would have to put the topsoil back on everything. Do you have any anticipation of what the slope grade's going to be where you excavate it? So what you're doing is you're flattening it out and making the rest steeper. So I just want to make sure that it's not so steep that you create a problem.
Right. So there'll be the flattened area, then there'll be a drop, a steeper drop, and then another semi-flat area. I think we put somewhere on the plan that no slope should be greater than 3-1.
Okay.
Did we put that there? Um,
And that's exactly where I was going is to
yeah,
have
so
that
there,
conversation. Yeah.
I think there's going to be a drop after the first flat area.
Yep.
And it's just going to be a natural berm, retaining wall or anything like that, just a natural drop that I'm hoping to plant grass on. It's so 3-1, something along those lines, and then steeply grade out to where the wetlands are, or 30 feet before it.
Okay. No, that's fine. That actually answers my question because I would have probably made a suggestion. And I think I'll probably, Leah, just make a recommendation that, even though I don't see it on this particular plan, that we include it as a just a condition or as a findings that, the applicant has indicated that no slopes are going to be greater than 3-1, be
Okay.
steeper
Yeah.
than 3-1. Yep. All right. I'll go around, see if anyone else has questions. Travis?
No, that wasn't I'm good.
Okay. Jonathan?
I didn't have questions, but did we want to talk about signage or wait until after questions?
We can talk about it now. I had it down, but yeah, we can talk about it now. Leah, you're just talking about our standard condition about adding the little 4-inch by 4-inch signs.
Yeah, and I just didn't know if you wanted just signs and a barrier too, which would be the standard, whatever the
Yeah.
applicant chooses, fence, boulders, whatever. We leave the choice to them.
Yeah, I think in this case here where he's flattening it out and then doing a steep slope, that's going to be the barrier.
Okay.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. Do any of the commissioners have any kind of thoughts on not just
And
the
that's
signs?
the tree line, right? So the tree line is now going to be at the 30-foot in that area
Correct.
where it's I think standard signs, the standard 4x4, 4-inch by 4-inch signs along the tree line is probably the
Yep.
typical. If there was a bunch of open space, it might make sense to put another barrier, but if it's at the edge of the current tree line or the future tree line, I think it makes sense to just do signs.
Right.
I didn't have any
Tra-
questions on it. It seems straightforward.
Okay.
Signs
do you have-
work for me.
Yep. Amira, do you have any questions on this particular one?
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I in this case, Leah, just because of the way the site's going to be, I think the signs are enough because
Sure.
it's not going to be flat until it might be flat down at the bottom, but that slope will kind of prevent from a lot of activity down in there.
Okay.
I'll go back to the applicant if you have any other questions for us. Otherwise, we're going to get ready to vote.
The signs, could you just describe what those are a little bit?
Certainly. So we have standard signs, and you can reach out to the staff in the office during the week. They're 4 inches by 4 inches, and then you just put them basically on something, on a post that won't decay or anything, and you just put it along where the new tree line is, which is the 30-foot offset. And Leah, what does it actually say on the signs other than
I think
do not
it's protected, no disturb wetland buffer, and I think it says like Grafton Conservation on it
Yeah.
as well. It'll all be laid out in the condition though. I'll give you all those specs.
In
Okay.
essence, yeah, it's essence, you're in front of us. Hopefully you remember and you don't, further, remove any trees or dump anything there. But it's also if you happen to sell that those signs stay and the next person that comes in knows that
Oh,
there's
okay.
a wetlands back. It's not, hopefully you remember that you're
Right.
not supposed to do anything. You're here in front of us, but it's for the next folks and so forth. The whole idea is it's not supposed to be this big sign, just something simple that someone says, oh, what does this mean? So that's the intent of it. So-
Okay. And I have that if you see towards the back of the site, there's kind of a straight line that we just drew, but the tree line will be at the 30 feet, and then yeah, I guess it just straightens off there, so it won't be the 30 feet everywhere, just kind of as per the plan, or as long
Correct.
as we're 30 feet from any wetland, is that acceptable as well, or?
And that's fine. And so I think that question brings up. So basically, we usually say that you have to put those signs every 20 feet, correct, Leah?
Yeah.
Every 20 feet. But once you begin to go away from the wetlands, you don't
Yeah.
need to put those signs anymore.
Okay.
So it's not like it's only right where that 30 feet is. And then as soon as you turn, you do one more sign, and then the rest you don't really need to do because you're not as far
Right.
as you go to the north, or actually, this is north is to the left. As you go to the east away from the wetlands, you don't need to put a whole series of signs there because it's, you're
Okay.
going away from it. So, yeah, a lot of times when we do this, we'll, mark out where the whoever submits it, the engineer will mark out where those signs are. In this case
Mhm.
here, the condition will indicate where the signs should go.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously it's only on your property.
Right.
So, all right. Seeing that, Jonathan, did you have anything else to add? Or are you all set?
No, nothing else to
Okay.
add.
All right. So based on that, Leah, anything else to add or any other
Nope.
conditions? Okay. Having heard nothing else here, do I have a motion to
Do we need
issue?
to open it up to the public?
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a while. So at this point, um, anyone in the online in the public, if you have any comments or questions on 125 Keith Road, please raise your hand. We'll be happy to hear you. And the only other thing I'd like to go to the applicant is just let you know that when we vote, we can either issue a negative determination or a positive determination. Just as an FYI, you're looking for a negative determination because when we say negative determination, that means the permitting process stops and you get issued. You get actually issued something that says a negative determination. No other permitting is required. So it's a little bit reversed. So just when you hear us say a negative determination, that's actually what you're looking for. So I just wanted to let you know on that.
Got
Yeah, it's just a little bit.
it.
I don't know how much familiar you are with the permitting process. You might
Yeah,
know it. Yeah,
not
but
terribly.
but it's just, just for your information. And while I was chatting, Leah, anyone raise their hand?
Nope.
So no one from the public has any questions. Now we'll shift and do I have a motion?
I'm on mute. I'll move to close the hearing and issue negative determination with the conditions as discussed.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Jonathan,
Yes.
Amira,
Abstain.
and then Travis.
Yes.
And I am also a yes. The motion carries. Good luck with flattening out your
Thank you.
your lawn, and hope you enjoy it.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right, Leah. Now just up is
George Hill Road.
George Hill Road. Okay, I just need to switch and read this in. All right, here we go. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Grafton Stormwater Management Bylaw, Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon a notice of intent, application for Grafton Stormwater Bylaw permit, application for Grafton Wetlands Bylaw permit for the reconstruction of a roadway at George Hill Road. And who's here to speak to that?
Olson from VHB. I also have Greg Russell from VHB and Madeline Schroet here. If you can give them permission to present too, that would be great.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks for having us back. It's been a little bit. So I'll give you basically just a brief overview of the project again, and we presented initially on, I believe it was September 3rd. So I'll just give you a brief update of everything that's transpired since then. So this is the George Hill Road reconstruction project. The proposed work is to reconstruct the entirety of George Hill Road, about 1.93 miles. That work includes the widening by less than one lane to 20 feet to be consistent throughout, on the repairing of the existing pavement, and repairing some of the degraded pavement from the stormwater issues that are going on out there, as well as installing a new closed drainage system. The work also includes a half mile of work on Fay Mountain Road and about 5.4 miles on Soap Hill Road. And that would include pavement reclamation and an installation of a berm in some places. As you may recall, there will be some permanent impacts. There'll be some temporary and permanent impacts to resource areas. So there will be a mitigation wetland created off of Soap Hill Road on town property. That was part of the plan set. The last page I showed the 3,300 square foot mitigation area, which is compensation for permanent impacts to BVW and land underwater. And since the September 3rd presentation, I'll just give you a quick run through of all the actions that have been taken since then. So Arthur Allen from Ecotech provided peer review comments on the wetland side of things for the NOI and field delineation on September 30th. VHB provided a response to comments on October 14th. And then Arthur and myself met in the field on October 24th to go over all those comments and visit each of the areas that were necessary. VHB then provided an updated response to comments, an updated plan set and an updated mitigation plan on November 19th based on that field review with the Ecotech. And then Arthur provided a final response to our comments, concurring that we're essentially in agreement on all items. The hearing was then continued once or twice, was it twice, I think, since then, pending the receipt of the stormwater peer review comments. We received those comments from Graves Engineering on December 5th. VHB then provided a response to those comments on December 30th, and then today we received a response from Graves back on those, and reviewing those early today. I think there's not much that we're in disagreement on. I think there's nothing major there. It's just some minor items. So that's the update from our initial presentation on September 30th. So I guess I would open it up and see if there's any questions or comments.
All right. Thank you very much. Lee, you want to give your report?
Sure. So as was mentioned, all Ecotech comments are satisfied, as well as DEP comments. The one main outstanding comment from Graves is comment number 12, and it can just be addressed with a plan revision. So we could just add a condition about that to our list. The only outstanding item I have beyond that was just that we had asked for the proposed replication area to be made not a perfect square. And I haven't seen a revision to that plan. That's something we could probably.
Was that not? I thought that was on the last plan set that we provided.
I think it was, Leah.
Okay, is that on the 1119 set?
I believe it was.
Okay. Do you know what page of the PDF by chance?
It should be the last page of the plan set.
Okay.
Yeah, 1119.
Okay, I'm seeing that now. I'm throwing it up for everybody. Sorry, I missed that. Then I don't have anything outstanding other than that the commission will need to do a separate vote on the waiver request.
One other question, Leah. You indicated there was one item from Graves.
Yeah.
What is that last outstanding item?
Let me find that. So then number 12. It has to do with one of the drainage structures. Graves is recommending a drop inlet. The response indicated that the flow from the local it's a locally jurisdictional only stream, will be conveyed into the drainage system either via the existing culvert or by other means. Graves doesn't have an issue with the concept of conveying the flow into the drainage system because it's the existing flow path. Graves recommends that the plans be updated to reflect the chosen drainage scenario once the scenario is determined.
All right,
That's
go back
number
to
12.
okay, go back to Eric, the applicant. What is, kind of what's your final understanding of what's going to happen with this?
Basically, I think what they were trying to say there is that there is a town jurisdictional stream there with this flow coming from offsite, and it currently goes into the drainage swale that we will be filling, and it goes into a culvert that goes under the driveway and then into an existing drop inlet, then it crosses the road and then drains into the wetland. So I think they want to make sure that we account for that flow. And so that's what we plan to do. We are currently deciding on the best way to do that. So it's not in the final design, but we do recognize it and we will. I mean, the whole point of this project is to deal with the stormwater flow to keep the roadway
Yep.
safe and in good condition. So we will account for that water coming through, whether it means installing a inlet at a different location and using the existing culvert, or putting in a new drop culvert and a new culvert under the driveway. It will be accounted for, but it's just pending.
Okay. So as far as that goes, and just so I don't know who's on here from the public, but just for everyone else's benefit, when it talks about a local jurisdictional stream, that means it is based on our local bylaw. We actually look at swales, drainage kind of paths as jurisdictional, not in the fact of protecting it, but just making sure that it's maintained so that is accounted for and doesn't create other issues. So basically, that's what we're saying. And then, so for us to kind of move ahead with this, what we would do is create, a condition. Leah, is that what your thoughts were? Is
Yeah.
we could okay. So we would create a condition. That condition would probably be a request that you submit um basically a sketch, an updated plan, whichever, to indicate your solution, and that we could just send it over to our peer reviewer at Graves just to say, yep, yeah, we kind of agree with this. We understand the general um, purpose of it, and the actual method of it will be updated once you kind of understand or finalize that particular thing. Because we know it has to be conveyed. You're going to collect it. It's just a matter of the method. And so we can condition that. So kind of would like to go around to the commissioners to see if they have any issues with that approach. So Travis.
With that approach, no, I don't have any questions. I have
Anything
some
to
other questions, but not
Okay.
about this.
All right. I just want to get this one because this one will hold
Yeah.
up. So get this one. So Amara, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Jonathan. Questions,
No, I don't have
comments?
any questions or concerns with that approach.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So that's the one thing that we'll have to have a short discussion here on kind of the appropriate condition to put in here. I think we have a basic understanding of what we're doing with the purpose of what it is, and then we'll just have to get some sort of sketch or revised plans that can be submitted to the office, and then the staff can review it. We should not have to come back to the full commission to review that kind of minor update to the plans. So,
It would be in the form of an updated plan set as opposed to a sketch.
all right, that works absolutely fine. Leah, anything else
I just
as
have
far as
I have a logistical question on that one.
Yep.
Is that something that we could reasonably put in the prior to commencement of work section, or is that something that won't be decided until construction's underway?
Madeline, correct me, or Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that'll probably be decided over the next month or so. I think they're working on the solution now, so that will be, you'll get those updated plans well before construction.
Okay. Thanks, Leah. Anything, Leah, anything else that we should know or anything else that you have in your report?
I don't have anything else outstanding. I just have stuff to start talking through, working towards a vote. So like findings and conditions and things.
Okay, let's kind of go around to the commission first to see what else. Travis, any other questions?
I had some questions about the wetland mitigation area. If now's the time.
Absolutely. You got the floor.
Leah, in my notes, I didn't see this in the report, but you were going to follow up with the TA on whether or not we can actually use Pell Farm.
Yeah, so once we are all set and have like permitted this, he asked for a copy to be forwarded of our permit with all the conditions and the approved plan set that he will put in front of the select board to have them
Okay.
kind of bless it, if you will, that the replication area will go on town property.
So it's not
And
on us.
Jan and I did walk this with Eric and Greg, and it's not in conflict with any existing or proposed trails that we had in mind. So it's nice and out of the way.
In the plan sheet for the mitigation site, number 8 says that we'll be given 48 hours notice after excavation has occurred to ensure that the proper hydrology has been established. Sandy or Leah, maybe you can weigh in, but how are we going to know if proper hydrology has been established? Because if I recall, we don't really have a water budget for this or anything.
So that's probably something that we would have Art go out and check it out.
Right, and as the wetland scientist, I'll be out there making sure, and we can kind of coordinate on that and make sure that we're in the field together to talk it through.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not clear on what our hydrology goal is, but
Typically, you're trying to get the groundwater, within the top 12 inches of the ground to kind of maintain hydric soil. So I think hydric soil is a little bit deep there because where we're putting this is in the upland adjacent. So we'll be excavating down. We'll find that hydric soil and we'll find the right spot where the groundwater is fluctuating within the top 12 inches, and will maintain wetland plants.
Yes. So,
okay, but we're not sure like how much water is going to be there, because we could have enough water that would sustain cattails, but trees wouldn't grow there. But I guess
Because
as
it
long
depends on the
as we
species.
have wetland plants after 2 years,
right.
we'll
So,
call
yeah.
it a wetland.
Yeah. So Travis, it's more about how deep it has to be. So you'll be able to, look at the soils and look at where the seasonal high groundwater is, and you can kind of get a sense of where it is. The whole idea is to get, as Eric indicated, get it so it's within 12 inches of the surface, and then you actually have to over excavate and then put in your hydric soil in it so that it'll, be able to grow the wetland plants and so forth. So yeah, so it's almost a little bit of it is a field decision. It's not going out and saying, okay, we're going to make this exactly whatever the elevation is shown on the plans. Say it's 100. Well, it may end up being 100.2, or maybe it has to be 99.1. It may have to be a little bit deeper so you get basically get close enough to the groundwater so that you can actually have a wetland created. And Art is the one to really understand, what the environment is needed to get those plants and start creating a healthier wetland system.
And if for some reason we go out there and they excavate and they realize there's more water than what trees can handle, I assume we can modify this plan easily.
Well, as far as the trees go, I mean, you can find trees that can go in the middle of the wetlands. So it's your species that you're deciding on. So, but
Exactly.
but again, they also have to make sure if they, you're planting the trees in the different species. So you get typical red maple. Well, red maples are great, it'll grow anywhere. However, if you buy a red maple that wasn't grown in wet soil, it's going to die. So it's one of those things. That's why we have to go 2 growing seasons. So,
Okay.
Exactly. We'll be monitoring this, and I've been in positions before where we have had to make adjustments when the hydrology isn't exactly what we expected. So you change the species based on what you're seeing over that monitoring period. I don't anticipate that here. I think these are good species. I picked these species based off of what is growing in the wetlands immediately adjacent to this area. Those are all
Okay.
species that are out there right now, so I have a good feeling that they will take. It's really like Sandra said, sometimes for some reason a certain planting doesn't take, you plant a new one and that one takes. So
are you, are
Okay.
you are you planting to do any harvesting from the adjacent wetlands?
no, we're
Okay.
gonna buy species, and yeah, we don't want to go in there and start digging or anything like that.
Yeah. What I mean by that, I'm talking about individual. I'm not talking. Yeah. A little bit more. You know, controlled and so forth. That's fine. That's absolutely fine and so forth. Travis, any other questions around that?
The soils, you think you can find hydric soils there, so you
So
won't have to bring it in? I thought
yeah,
there was something in the plan about. Uh,
Likely
I'll,
we'll have to bring in some kind of mix, high organic content mix.
okay, there it
yes,
is.
yeah. So typically, if you can't have, you're going to have filling of wetlands in other areas, depending upon those fill areas and what kind of level of hydric soils you have. You can, try to reuse them. Sometimes it's hard to reuse hydric soil because once you stockpile it, it loses its organic matter and so forth. So sometimes it's just as it can be more successful if you actually use a standard mix of topsoil and compost and some other things to create a hydric soil. It's not technically hydric right away, but once you have it in place, it'll become hydric. So,
Right, the
Okay.
groundwater does its work. One of the
yep,
things too is like along the roadway, if there are any like invasive species, and we do reuse hydric soils, that would be taking those invasive species and moving them
right.
into this area, which is not ideal either. So,
Yeah, and it does. I thought it said that you might use it. Um,
yeah,
yeah, you may use soil from Meadow Road
right.
if they've been
If it's
inspected.
possible,
So
if we're
if
looking at
you
the area looks good where we're taking it, and they are able to do
Okay.
that, then
if
yeah,
there aren't invasives from the areas you're
exactly.
taking
We'll
it.
check for all
Okay.
that. During the construction, we'll be monitoring during construction as well.
Okay, I think that's it for me.
No, good questions. Um, do you think you'll have to impact the edge of the wetlands very much to get the grades to work?
So.
Okay. You all set, Travis?
Yeah.
Jonathan, any questions?
I was going to ask just what you just did, Sandy, which was how is it going to tie into the existing wetland flags and everything along the perimeter? But it sounds like there's a minimal impact there. So,
Right. All depends upon where the water is. Yep. Amira,
right.
do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's good. All right. Haven't seen that. Everyone should, I'm going to ask Leah to kind of go through her findings and conditions and start thinking about if you think there are any other conditions that we should be discussing. And at this time, I'll invite anyone in the public. If you have any comments or questions, you can raise your hand and we'll promote you and try to answer any of those questions. So, in the meantime, we'll continue on. Leah, you want to go through your findings?
Sure. So I had findings. One, the project will not disturb greater than 5 acres per phase in order to be able to close small sections of the roadway at a time and keep the roadway open to traffic. Two, it is a limited project per 310 CMR 10.533F, which is improvement of existing public roadways, limited to widening less than a single lane, adding shoulders, correcting substandard intersections, and improving inadequate drainage systems. Three, the commission accepted the proposed replication plan due to the linear nature of the project restricting the design from meeting the traditional replication protocols, and the applicant is meeting them to the maximum extent practicable. And the fourth finding is that the design does propose some recharge, which is to be worked out in the field, and results in significant overall improvement to water quality. Thus, the commission is satisfied with the stormwater standards being met to the maximum extent practicable for this redevelopment project. I'll pause there before I do conditions.
Or does anyone have any questions on these findings, Travis?
Nope.
Jonathan,
No, nothing from me.
Amira?
No questions.
Okay. Eric, do you have any comments or questions on these findings, or do you think anything is missing?
Nope, those all sound very reasonable.
All right, sounds good. Start discussion on conditions. Leah, anyone from the public have raised their hands?
Nope, no one from the public.
Okay, sounds good. Start going through the conditions. We can discuss the conditions.
Sure. So in light of our discussion about the one outstanding Graves comment, I guess I would word that one as prior to commencement of work, a revised plan set shall be provided to address comment number 12 in the Graves Engineering peer review letter, to be submitted to the commission for review and approval by Graves Engineering.
Sounds
Next
good.
one is that test pit data shall be provided to the commission to document the feasibility of the 12 proposed leaching basins. New calculations taking credit for those that are feasible shall be provided, and revised plans showing any offline leaching pipes in locations where the basins are not feasible will also be provided. But I would put that in the during construction section, not prior to commencement of work, because I know they intend to get all that data as they go.
Oh.
We want a copy of the SWIP. Best management practices shall be followed for removal of roadside material that contains invasive species so as not to further fragment and spread the plants. The reseeded roadside areas shall be monitored during construction through project completion, and any invasive species shall be removed during that monitoring period per state guidelines. I would recommend wetland peer review oversight of the relevant work. The wetland flagging needs to be refreshed in the field prior to commencement of work. Art mentioned that a couple times in his letters. And long-term, the O&M plan will be implemented for all the new infrastructure.
Okay. So Eric, do you have any comments, questions on these conditions?
I'm almost set.
You're all set. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. And we'll go around the conservation commissioners, see if anyone else has anything to add to this. Jonathan.
I have nothing else to add. Those sound like good conditions to me.
Okay, Amira
I have nothing to add.
and Travis.
Nope.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I think we've covered it pretty much. Okay, so no one from the public. So the first thing we need to do is grant the waiver, and that is for work within the 25-foot. Leah.
Yeah, due to both the roadway layout and for the replication proposed.
Okay. So could I have a motion to grant a waiver for work within the 25-foot no disturb zone due to the configuration of the roadway and also the installation of the replication area.
Is this all on George Hill Road? Doesn't matter. I'll just go for it. I'll
Okay.
move to grant a waiver for work within the 25-foot buffer for the George Hill Road project.
All right, sounds good. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion, a second. Roll call vote on the waiver. Jonathan,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Amira.
Abstain.
All right, and I am also a yes. The waiver is granted. Okay. All right. Having no other proposed conditions, we have the findings. Last chance for the applicant. Do you have any other questions before we take a vote on issuing the order of conditions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Having gone through all of these and having read them, who would like to make a motion for this?
I'm frozen.
I could see you trying to find something. So
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and issue the order and permits with the above noted conditions for the George Hill Road replacement project
in
I'll
findings.
second that.
Yeah, and also the findings. So
and the findings.
Yeah.
Yes.
thank you. And then a second on that.
I'll second it.
So a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Travis,
Yes.
Amira,
Abstain.
and Jonathan.
Yes.
I am also a yes. The motion carries. Good luck. If you have any questions, please reach out to staff. Other than that, good luck. It's I'm happy to see this being taken care of because
Yeah, I
we've
can't wait to
had,
get this road fixed.
we've had many of calls on it, so it's great that it's going to get corrected. So,
All right. Well, thank you.
all right, have a
Very
good
nice.
one.
Thank you.
All right, Leah. I think we have covered everything.
Yep, that's it.
All right, that means that Amira has to do the last motion to see if you remember what it is.
I can't. It's been a little while.
That's okay. That's okay. No problem.
I'll let Jonathan take it.
Yeah,
Motion to adjourn.
that's the
No.
last one. That's the
That's
one
it.
everyone. That's it. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. And roll call vote. Amira,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
I am yes. Thank you very much, Leah, for taking on the lone